Hey everybody, CW here, Card Wolf, because I'm always on the hunt for great cards. And tonight I am not really hunting for cards, I'm just kind of showing you some stuff that I found when I was going through some of the archives here at Card Wolf East Coast, aka my mom's house. We're back in the kitchen at the table and just going to show off some stuff. I'm going to start off with this enormous lucite holder that has a card in it that I found today. I hate these kinds of holders. If you guys have watched the channel before, you know I really don't like fussy holders, and this is the fussiest, thickest holder I think I've ever seen, so I'm really confused as to what I was doing with a card in this holder. I'm not going to show you the card right now. I'll show it to you at the end, and in the meantime, you can think, what would I put in a 1 pound holder? That is literally about how much this weighs. What would I put in there? And whatever you think it is, it's not that. I'll just leave it at that. You've got to have this deck stacked against you on this. Also found a mini bat today, which is pretty cool. I like this. It is a George Babe Ruth mini bat. I'm not sure if the camera's going to actually do the focusing on that. It wants to focus on all the stuff behind it. There you go. Now you can see it. So that was pretty cool to find. I also found a Brooks Robinson one and a couple others which were neat. Also found this very old glove that I guess I must have used when I was a wee lad. Has been very well worn and used. It's from Leo or George. I think it's Leo A. Reach Company, incorporated from Philadelphia. I don't remember ever hearing about that company, but they made good kids' gloves, I guess. And so that's from when I was but a wee lad. Also found my old Orioles hat from about that time. You can see by the logo about how old I am, because that is a pretty old logo. The Orioles hats haven't looked like that for many, many years. But anyway, that's some pretty cool stuff I unearthed, and I am going to open something on the channel. I'm going to open another one of these 3D Baseball Stars cards. There's only one card per pack, and they are hauntingly delicious is how I would describe those cards. I think you guys will really enjoy that. I also want to give proper shout outs to the various comic channels that watch the Card Wolf Network, including Cole's Comic Claims. Thank you, Cole. You are a great guy, and he actually gave me a shout out in one of his videos recently, which I appreciate. And I got to apologize again. I'm way behind on watching videos, and I think that's just how it's going to be this week, because I'm just exhausted at the end of the day, digging stuff out and packing stuff up and taking care of my son and hanging out with my mom and doing all of that stuff. It's just, I already feel like I'm ready to climb into bed right now, honestly. It's about 10 o'clock or so. Also want to shout out Slim Comics and More. Slim, aka Sean, you are also a great guy. You are extremely knowledgeable about comics, and I like watching your channel very much. Sean also opens cards too. He really is able to straddle both hobbies, which is something I really admire and wish that I could do, but absolutely can't. I can barely show all the cards I want to open. If I started getting into other stuff, which I'm going to do tonight, I'm actually going to show some other stuff tonight, but if I did that regularly, it would be too much. Also want to shout out Gary B., the casual comic guy and the obsessive Conan guy. That is you, Gary, and you know I say that with great affection, man. You're awesome, and I love your channel, and Gary is also extremely knowledgeable about comics, and he knows a lot of vintage comics, too, which will be no surprise to you guys. I generally do collect vintage. I don't really actively collect comics now, but when I did, focus was on vintage, and I'll be showing some of those when I get back to Utah. I've already packed up most of the comics, so I'm not going to get into that, but I did bring up some of the toys and action figures and even some Hot Wheels cars. Those are for Cato over at Cato's World. He shows Hot Wheels cars all the time, and I found some, and I wanted to show those while I had your attention here. These are 1995 model series. This one has a Stegosaurus. My son's really into dinos, so that was an easy favorite. I found a whole bunch, and these are just some I picked out. This is also from around that era, and it's a purple school bus with some cool stuff on the side. I guess I can bring that up closer and get the camera to play nice. You can see it's got some cool stuff there. So those are a couple of those I found, and then here are a couple of more. 1996 first edition, and one from the Heat Fleet series. That one is a fiery tow truck, and you can see that that's got some nice details there. I did collect Hot Wheels pretty heavily for a while, and I also have, again, this will not surprise you, a lot of vintage Hot Wheels and Matchbox cars as well. Most of the vintage stuff I have back at my domicile already, so I didn't uncover a whole trove of those. I wish I had. That would be awesome. As far as action figures go, I found a lot of not a lot of Star Wars, but some Star Wars, a lot of Star Trek. I worked in the comic industry for a while, and then after that I worked in the toy industry for a while, and was really able to get a lot of action figures of certain properties. Star Trek was one of them. I had a lot of Star Trek here, and I'm not sure I'm going to bring that with me or maybe try to sell it to one of the local stores. I'm going to see what I can do with that. I also found a lot of Marvel and a lot of DC. Some of the DC I brought upstairs. Marvel's like, typical X-Men figures that they make over and over again. I don't think there's anything special about the Marvel, but I found some cool DC stuff. This is from a series that they did called Pocket Heroes, and these were very unique. I always liked these quite a bit. I think that's in focus. I hope it is. You can see this is Speedy and Wonder Girl from the Teen Titans. The Teen Titans Silver Age were always one of my favorite comic books, even Bronze Age. I know everybody likes the George Perez Teen Titans, and I never really liked it after Perez took over. I know that's ridiculous because it was really well written and all of that, but I liked the old Silver Age and some of the Bronze Age stuff before all of that. And some of those characters from the old Teen Titans were really favorites of mine. I think when I was a kid, I probably had a crush on Wonder Girl, but in any event, Wonder Girl is still a favorite of mine from those old days, and also liked Speedy and Aqualad and Robin, of course, and those were some great comics, and so it's no surprise to me that I picked up this Pocket Heroes when I did. These were, I don't know when these came out, I don't remember, it was probably the 90s, maybe the late 90s, something like that. This is it's in a comic bag, it looks like, but they made, as you can see here on the back, they really made quite a lot of them. So, in any event, I found some of those, and also found a lot of Batman the Animated Series, which I was a huge fan of as an adult. This is a box set called Shadows of Gotham City, and you can see it has Batman and Robin, and then over here it has Ra's al Ghul, who was, move the bat, and there's Ra's al Ghul, who was probably my favorite Batman villain. Always liked Ra's al Ghul quite a lot. He's pretty deep and interesting character, and then his daughter Talia, who is also a really interesting character. Like them both quite a bit. Almost named my daughter Talia, but we went with something else that I like better. But yeah, great find here. It's Talia's first figure, as you can see by the blurb on the yellow bat there, and found several box sets like that, and a lot of the single carded figures, tons of those. I was really into that animated series for its run. One of the oddest action figures I found that I really don't remember purchasing is, and I'm going to show it to you sideways first, and then I'll open it up and show it to you. This is a Jack Skellington figure from Nightmare Before Christmas. This is a Japanese figure that came out probably in the, I would guess, in the late 90s. The movie came out in, I think, 93, maybe 94, something like that. And this is from June Planning, which was the Japanese company that had the rights to do these figures. And this is in kind of a coffin-shaped box, which is really cool. It's pretty big, as you can see. I would estimate this figure's a little over 12 inches, maybe 14. Has this sort of interesting opener here on the side that's on a ribbon, and you kind of take it out like that, and then it opens up, and I'm not sure I'll be able to show it to you properly, but maybe I'll pick up the camera and show it to you that way. And there's Jack in his coffin, but he's in his nightshirt, which I guess I thought was really cool at the time, and you can see he's reading The Scientific Method, which was kind of a running, well, not a running joke, but it was a little joke that they did in the movie of what Jack Skellington would have as bedtime reading. So anyway, I can see why I would have liked this figure. I'm not a huge Nightmare Before Christmas fan, but that's a pretty cool figure, and I can see why I would have liked it. So there you go. That's just a sampling of stuff that I found. I'm going to, keep all of the stuff that I'm showing you, and there's a bunch of stuff that I probably won't keep, but this is stuff that I liked enough that I'll probably keep. And so now we got two things to do before the end of this video. We got to open one of these gruesome 3D baseball cards. Let's get this pack out. Let's pull one at random here from the top. I dispensed with Goose Gossage. I hope I never see that card again. So let's pull one from deeper in the box. Maybe we'll have better luck. All right, there we go. There we go. Pull that one out and put that back up there at the top. And we're going to open this one up. And then at the end of this, I'll show you the card that's in the gigantic pound of lucite. I don't know why I kept it in there, but there you go. All right, so again, I'm going to show you the checklist. You can see the star power, as Freedom Sufferer would say, that is possible here in the 3D Baseball Stars pack. You only get one card per pack, and if Goose Gossage was any indicator, it's going to be memorable. I'll put it that way. Last night we pulled a Goose Gossage, and tonight, let's see if we can figure out who it is before we even flip the card over. These are sort of like an envelope, and they're glued shut at the top, and I'm just kind of sliding it open like I would with a letter. All right, so here we go. This one is not a pitcher. Last night's, we could tell, was a pitcher right away. This is a batter, and that's a tough one, man. That could be anybody. I'm not sure about that. It really could be anybody. I'm tempted to guess Reggie Jackson, but that's just because he's one of my favorite all-time players, so that's an easy guess for me. But there's a lot of other players that could be. Schmidt, Eddie Murray, Dale Murphy. I mean, that could be quite a lot of players, but I'm going to guess Reggie and see if it's Reggie Jackson. Let's see who we get tonight. It is Mike Schmidt. There we go, and that is not too bad. That one is not really a hideous thing. It's not particularly attractive, but it's not, nightmare inducing or anything. So that's tonight's pull, and as you can see, it is the number one card. It is number 1 of 30 on the checklist. So that was a pretty good pull. Hall of Famer Mike Schmidt. We'll go ahead and put him back there for right now and give the camera something else to focus on instead of the thing I wanted to focus on, which is this giant lucite holder. We're going to check it out and see what card is in here. So whatever your guess was, as I said at the beginning, I'm pretty sure that you did not guess what card is actually in here. I'm going to go ahead and take the Post-it notes off of this. I don't know whatever possessed me to keep this card in here. It's a big, giant holographic foil card, and I'll see if I can get the camera to play nice with it. And you can see it's kind of a creepy card, honestly. It is from the Sandman. It's the main character in the Sandman comic, Morpheus, and it says so on the back. And it's a hologram by Dave McKean, the great artist, and this is from DC Comics and Skybox cards. Honestly, I don't remember acquiring this card. I would like to tell you that, oh yeah, this was a really expensive card. It's probably worth like $1 now. I mean, I don't think there's any interest in these old DC Comics cards from the mid-'90s. This is from 1994, according to the copyright on the back. And, it's a cool card and everything, but, it doesn't need to be in a holder like this. I mean, this is completely outrageous. But anyway, maybe some of you comic guys, maybe Cole or Sean or Gary, maybe you guys know more about this than I would, since it is based on a comic book character. Maybe you know a little more about these and can inform me in the comments whether this is a card that anybody cares about at all. Who knows? In any event, that is all I've got for you tonight here on the Card Wolf Network. I hope you enjoyed that. Sorry we didn't open more product. We'll open something else tomorrow. We'll get something else going on. I have found some other wax boxes, and maybe I'll show you those. We'll see. But anyway, again, thank you very much. Also want to give a big shout out to JG50. I almost forgot to do this. JG50, I think, correctly guessed who the Chicago Cub card was in and among the Bowman cards that we opened last night. I could not figure out who it was. He guessed Sean Dunston, and I think he's right. I think that's who it is. Don't Talk to Robots guessed Jerome Walton, and that's also a good guess, but pretty sure it's Sean Dunston. I think I actually still have the card in the box. I don't think I did anything with that card in particular. So if you guys really feel like sticking around and checking that card out to see if I'm right, I will unearth it again here, and you guys can give me your 2 cents on the matter. There it is. All right, so here it is. I'll get this out of the way, and all kinds of stuff is falling down, but I think that is Sean Dunston. Pretty sure that's who that is. Jerome Walton's a great guess, but I think JG50 called it correctly on that. I think that really is Sean Dunston. So great job, JG50. I appreciate you figuring that out, because I certainly could not do it. And that is it. That really is all. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see you guys again tomorrow. Happy collecting.